portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Today was considered KYC or Know Your Contribution Day for the National Insurance Board. It's a national exercise designed for all working Bahamians to have the ability to access their information online. Here in the capital, NIB representatives disseminated information at the malls at Marathon and Town Center. Officials tell us that more than 100 people registered at the Marathon Mall location alone. NIB Senior Manager Rhonda Ingram explained to us the process, which she says is very simple. A PIN is given, providing access to your contribution history.
Far too often, we have persons visiting the National Insurance offices after they would have been terminated, or if they have a need to submit a claim for a benefit. We want to get away from all of that. We want you to know today what your status is. And if there are discrepancies, once you look at the information, if there are discrepancies, we have ways to address those discrepancies.
Activities for the Child Protection Month concluded with a national youth rally today. The Anti-Child Abuse Violent March and Rally was held on Windsor Park. Students from private, public, and special schools participated. The students marched to the site earlier today from Collins Avenue and also from Wolf and Robinson Roads. Our Janae Noel Ferguson was also there.
No more child abuse!
That's the message students from different schools took to the streets of New Providence today as the Ministry of Social Services intensifies its child abuse prevention campaign. While the increase in reported child abuse cases may mean a heightened awareness, social services officials say many children are still afraid to speak out if they are being abused. The march, which began at separate points, ended at Windsor Park with a rally where the students had an opportunity to display their talents.
Daddy gets a little closer. I got a little scared. I want Mommy to stop him, but all she does is stare. He hurts me. He beats me. He says I cannot tell. Mom hugs me and comforts me and says all will be well.
Minister of Social Services Melanie Griffin gave the students tips to guard against all forms of abuse, including drugs and alcohol, physical, sexual, and verbal abuse. She said they must also be careful of how they use the internet.
Don't post pictures or comments that you don't want to see all over the internet or on the front page of a newspaper. Often photographs and comments are distorted or used in a negative way. What you may have intended as good could end up being bad.
Griffin said that parents must also watch what they allow their children to witness inside the home.
I must remind you that it is in our homes that we begin to learn how to be violent, either through being victims of abuse or by witnessing violence against other members of our family.
Now, if you suspect a child is being abused, you can call the national hotline at 322-2763 or 422-2763. Janae Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
While we've become accustomed to images of murdered young men or seeing them carried away in handcuffs, there are a number of other young men seeking to change the stereotype. More than 40 outstanding high school males from throughout the country will be recognized this weekend during the annual Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity's Honors Day convocation. To date, the fraternity has awarded more than $250,000 in scholarship opportunities to deserving high school males. Today, the honorees kicked off the weekend with a courtesy call on Education Minister, the Honorable Jerome Fitzgerald. Minister Fitzgerald applauded the fraternity's efforts in not only mentoring the young men, but also encouraging them to pursue a tertiary education.
We all know that even at the College of the Bahamas over the years, we continue to see the number of entrants and graduates for males declining. It's something that we have to address within the educational system to make it more relevant for young men. And so we appreciate whatever assistance we can get in education from those in the private sector to encourage our young men. So I just want to commend you. I want to congratulate you and your fraternity for all the work you've done. I want to congratulate all of you young, handsome, strong, smart young men.
Over the course of the weekend, the young men will participate in a number of activities culminating on Sunday with the awards ceremony at Government House. Chairman of the Honors Day Committee, Dr. Valentine Grimes, talked about the significance of the weekend.
You know, young men get a lot of bad press in the Bahamas, and so we think it's important to highlight the good that a significant number of our young men are doing. Also to give them encouragement, because you know, it's easy to become despondent when you're hearing about violence and about how tough things are and how things are, and there certainly are issues that need to be dealt with, but there are also a lot of young men who are trying to do good work and need to be encouraged to continue on, because this is only the first of a number of steps to allow them to succeed in life.
40 Days of Prayer and Fasting was launched Thursday night at Evangelistic Temple. Spiritual leaders are expected to lead the nation in prayer and fasting with a focus on 2 Chronicles chapter 7 verse 14. Spearheading this move is Chairman of the 40 Days of Prayer and Fasting Committee, Pastor Jeremiah Duncombe. He said it's no secret the challenges this country has in a number of areas, including crime and violence. The one solution, he says, remains to be prayer. In addition to that, he says the initiative is one way the Christian body can unite.
We come here with no accusations for leaders, be they political or civic or whoever, financial. We know that we have a sin problem, and that's the core. That's the root. And so we have called this to pull our people together. We believe, I am saying it openly, unashamedly, that God is going to show up. We're going to see a drastic deduction and reduction in violent crimes and homicides. I believe that. We are claiming it, and God is going to show up.
The first area those in attendance prayed for last night was Bain and Grantstown. They gathered in groups of 3 or more. For the next 40 days, a different segment of the island will be covered in prayer. Pastor Duncombe encourages the residents throughout the nation to take time out to pray for this country.
Every day, Monday through Friday, here at Evangelistic Temple, there'll be a corporate prayer service, united, from 12 to 1. And then in various areas and segments and communities, there will be satellite prayer events at different points. In other areas in South Andros, we are having the same thing. Every day there's a center where individuals will go for prayer. As a matter of fact, we're doing it twice per day, at 6 o'clock in the morning and at 12 o'clock at midday. And so, yes, we all over the Commonwealth, we are going to saturate this place with prayer.
Coming up, street views on the controversial porn issue.
And Flight 242 is ready to take off and rock the house at the Performing Arts Center tonight. More national news when the Bahamas Tonight continues.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
I'm Sherelle Conliffe, and this is your Royal Fidelity Weekly Market Wrap. Trading activity gained momentum for the week, with nearly 35,000 shares exchanging hands on the local exchange, an increase of approximately 10,000 shares. Companies such as Kalina Holdings Class A preferred shares and Finco were the top volume traders. In international news, U.S. stocks fluctuated after an early rally sent the Standard & Poor's 500 index above its closing record, and concerned about escalating tension in Ukraine overshadowed data showing that payrolls rose the most in 2 years. Here's your investment tip for the week. Reinvest your dividends. Stock markets are really get-rich-slow schemes, and the best way to do it is to target securities that pay a decent dividend yield and then reinvest those dividends, so the power of compounding works in your favor. Nearly 2/3 of total investment return from dividend-paying securities over time come from these dividend payments and their reinvestments. So the next time you receive a dividend check, think about establishing a brokerage account with Royal Fidelity to ensure you can conveniently reinvest for greater returns. For more information, please visit our Facebook page or our website at royalfidelity.com or give us a call. This has been your Royal Fidelity Weekly Market Wrap. I'm Sherelle Conliffe.